Ooh. What's going on, Oliver? Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Thanks. You too. You hear me all right, though? Hey, VJ, what's going on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Check, check, check. Yes, you are good. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mission accomplished. What's going on, guys? Give it a beat. Give it a beat. So we got great stuff. So I'm just going to ramble here before I give an introduction. The team did awesome. They were able to crack prior codes. And so we're going to start off with March 16th, and we're going to go forward because the last contact message was actually yesterday. And we got some good information. So I'll just give it another moment, get some more people on here, and then we'll jump into it. Stephanie, what's going on? How you doing? VJ, how are the winds down south? They subsided. I know everyone's getting a little, whether it's pollen or tornado warnings. Here, Tara is here. Tara, welcome. And Tara will also be throwing up the Discord we'll do after show chat. Those that you want to jump on and ask some questions or you have some input, Tara will throw that up. And then she'll also be posting some of this contact in the essence of the actual code itself. It's coming so layered, so ununique, and I am just still flabbergasted that they were able to decipher, and we'll go over that. All right, guys, welcome to the Lyran Connection. I'm your host, Alexander John Tulloch. This is episode 43. I know 42 is just within this past week, but figured we'd get ahead of this thing. We're going to be talking about quite a few different things based upon these messages that have been decoded. Do want to give a shout out to Donut and Jacob Israel. So check out jacobisrael.com. Great stuff. And Donut, of course, go check out his stuff. They're going into the terrestrial side of things, and here I've been receiving contact since 2013 up to the present, and we kind of go terrestrial and off-world kind of multiple races, multiple systems, multiple light and dark, all over the place. But as we receive it, I'll let you know what and where we're at. Some of the questions may seem silly, but in real time as it's happening, until you fully understand and know the message, sometimes you ask silly questions. So sometimes I get silly answers. They're not really silly, but some of my questions are silly. But you'll see. So guys, welcome. So we're going to jump into contact right away. We'll go and dissect that, and then we'll go through some other bullet points that I have based upon numbers. I'll just throw out the numbers. We're at the end of March. It's the 31st. Tomorrow will be April Fool's Day. So for this year, I know in January we had 0. Last January we had 5 messages. February we had this year 2 messages. Last year we had 46. March up to now, currently, we are at 8. Last year at this time we were at 56. We closed out March with 56. So projecting for next month being April, last year was 3. Our heaviest year was 2020 at 12. So I'm not expecting a large, but in May is where it usually takes off. 2020 was 57 messages. 2021 is 84 messages. 2022, don't know. My birthday's also in May. Does that have something to do with it? Possibly. There's a lot of different things. And going into the new seasons and having those windows of opportunity depending on the race and who's sending it, whether it's terrestrial, white hats, black hats, or off-world, white hats, black hats, that kind of deal. So we'll see. With that being said, I was up in the Chapel Hill area in North Carolina. I did visit the planetarium. It had in recent years, a 20 million something budget where they redid it. I know the astronauts were trained in that planetarium. And ironically, one of the ladies who was doing the tour, she actually is retired professor, and she's come back to do these. What's really cool about this planetarium, just to give you a little quick thing, they can drive pretty much wherever they want to go, and it's updated annually and compiled. So picture a big simulation, and they literally have a joystick, and there's buttons and controls to basically go to any system, even out to the outskirt of the galaxy, looking in, seeing the black hole in this, or the black hole in the center of the galaxy. It's really cool to see as you're flying by the newly with Webb, the Webb telescope, and the newly discovered different things that so monthly it's charted where they're discovering new things. But what's amazing and exciting too is that we also get things through this contact that are not even on the system yet. So as those pop up, it'll be interesting to see what they call it, or if it's the same thing, or so. Anyways, that's just a side note. Kids are on spring break, so I figured I'd give them a little planetarium trip. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get started on March 16th, 2022. I know we went through this on last episode. Sorry, I have a little heartburn. But with these codes now decoded, we can actually go and jump into it. Also, I've just started manuscript number 4, so that's awesome. So we're cruising along. So let's put this manuscript 3 to bed and catch up. So when we received this message, and it's totally unique. It's within the same line as that new Eben. I received an image on March 16th as well at 4:29 p.m. It wasn't like the orange Eben that I received years ago. This is more of a tan or Caucasian looking Eben, shall I say. Now, with that being said, the language that we received was unique in itself, where normally it's binary into Latin, or it's we have to use a base 64 calculator, and it's a code, and we can translate it to get it to Latin and translate it to English. Where this had hints of Latin, and it almost seems like it's a language in itself that maybe is an offshoot of a language prior to Latin. So we'll go into it. The message is, you are to be your relevance among the race of the starseed. Okay, you are to be. Now, what's the questions I had before that? What is this image of? What is your name? I await your response. And then I put no message. And then I did get a response at 4:50 p.m. on March 16th, that Wednesday. So they said, you are to be your relevance among the race of the star seed. I said, and again, here we go. I'm going to go into these questions, but these questions at the time, again, I did not know what the message was. So I said, what language is this? This is not Latin. Is this Slavic? It had like little traces of different languages. I said, please resend message in English or Latin. Please help me with translation of your message. Are you close by? Are you talking about communications with a two-way radio? Needing more data, thank you. And then I received nothing. Monday, March 21st, I asked at 9:02 p.m., are you around? Nothing. Wednesday, March 23rd, did receive a message, and the message is as follows. After we broke the code, and I'll go into that for security purposes at this time because things are fluid. I will say that it is layered code and it is unique in itself. I will say that, have you ever read one of those jumbled messages where your brain can still read it? Some people can do it where it says a message but it's not correctly spelled at all and it's all scrambled, but you know what it's saying based upon your brain filling in. Well, that's how it was. After you actually get it decoded, it will actually, after through the Latin and the English, it's still broken, but the more we compile, the more it becomes clear, where it cleans up words where we thought it may have meant something else. Or so actually the more messages we get, the more accurate is. So this is as accurate as you're going to get it, because it actually, we got it all. It says, you must understand what has been brought upon the world, the changes that have commenced. We are not of the Lyran blood. We are one, and we have come before and will have come after. There, not there, no end. Okay, so you must understand what has been brought upon the world, the changes that have commenced. We are not of the Lyran blood. Now, the Lyrans do have 3 other races that are allies that work with the kingdom. We know that. At this point, still, I'm not sure if this is light or dark. I'm not getting deception, but at the same time, they're not lying. I don't sense any kind of deception, but there is some language. So one more time, you must understand what has been brought upon the world, the changes that have commenced. We are not of the Lyran blood. We are one, and we have come before and will have come after. There, not there, no end. So here are my questions. Please tell me what language this is. Please help me understand the language. Again, this is before we were able to crack it. Shout out to the team. Please send key to decode. I await your response. Need alphabet. And then we were getting, in the first stages, we were getting some kind of language, but there was a couple words that popped out. Weren't sure, so I asked. I said, meteorite cover is what I have translated. Is this correct? Is this a warning about an impact scenario? I await your response. Are you in distress? Something about scout ships? Please respond. What is not good? Are you saying it is not good? Again, we were way off track, but then when we got it, we got it. So that that's not relevant to that message. But Friday, March 25th at 11:07 a.m. That's when I was traveling to Chapel Hill, to the planetarium, and I couldn't actually work. My team worked on it, but I couldn't really work on it until I got back to the hotel that night to sit down. So it's a long message, and it translates as follows. Your consciousness and third eye will translate all information in time. You will see and translate from your own eyes, and beginning the new age and continue to it will be yourself that was promised, and Soltraxi flagship for departure. Your time is running quicker. Time itself is increasing in speed. Subconscious humans are beginning to feel its changes, yet not understanding the consequences or why this is, because time is not real. It is perception based on cycles of celestial bodies in space, creating gravitational pulse in waves that change the DNA structure of humans in the perception of God. So, whoa, that's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of meat and potatoes in that message. So I'm gonna read it again. They're saying, so time isn't real. They're confirming it. It's a perception. But your consciousness and third eye will translate all information in time. You will see and translate from your own eyes, and beginning the new age and continue to it will be yourself that was promised, and Soltraxi flagship for departure. Your time is running quicker. Time itself is increasing in speed. Subconscious humans are beginning to feel its changes, yet not understanding the consequences or why this is, because time is not real. It is perception based on cycles of celestial bodies in space, creating gravitational pulse in waves that change the DNA structure of humans in the perception of God. Okay. Tara just got my attention, because there's something about we're gonna put up the next message, which is actually even more intricate of what they sent, and I can't send the message. Can't figure out how. There's no option to post it. So what I'll do is, for that next message, because what I do is I hand scribe everything, whether it's light, dark, whatever. If it is sent, and I do the date, I like Friday, March 25th, 2022 at 11:29 a.m. The code, I put the message in the layer, how we broke it down. And even if it's something, if it's an image, I have it printed off through a secured print place. Whatever it is, because it's historical and it's for the record, I put it in here exactly the way it said. Even if there was a mistake in it, I'm not going to correct it. It's going to be put in there and show the process. So what I'll do is I'll physically show you. I'm still working on scribing and putting it into the manuscript, the full, the way I received it and how we had to break it down. But it's not done, but you'll get to see it in just a moment. So Friday, okay, so my questions I had were, I can't decode this. Please resend in Latin. Please tell me more about the 77 miles. See, like I was way off track. Please send an image of what you're talking about. And I did get an image. I said, the only relevance about the questions is at 11:27 a.m. I did ask, please send image of what you're talking about. And they did at 11:29. And a minute and a half later, just within a minute and a half later, I received an image. And the image, it's processing, it's coming, but I can describe it. It appears to be, we can't tell if it's a table, it's round with a curve to it with lights in it. We can't tell if it's a ship, a pod, or if it's like, who knows, like an Operation Looking Glass kind of thing, or whatever it is. But it looks more of like a vessel. It's circle. It has a red tinge to it. It's very intricate. And I will share it when I do receive it, because I don't see that. It's not a person, place, or thing. I don't see the relevance. But so when I ask, please send the image of what you're talking about, could it possibly be that that image is part of what's manipulating things that's happening? I don't know. We'll see. So that ends manuscript, and we'll jump into manuscript 4. So I said, what am I looking at in this image? Is this a ship or planet? Please send more images. Is this near Earth? What does this machine do? Where is this location? Please give details in Latin. Let me get a sip of tea. I have my regular tea again. Just decided to do tea. Excuse me, thank you. Are you artificial intelligence? Gotta ask, gotta rule it out. Is this AI in the image? Which it's not. At first, when you look at it, until you turn out the lights and actually look at the image, you're like, whoa, look how intricate. My first thing was like, uh-oh, bad guys, AI. Is this an, I need help translating messages. Please help me translate. Please help me help you. I'm starting to see the mess, and this is right. So at 9:04 p.m. on the 25th is when I was starting to finally see the messages for what they truly were. And I said, I'm starting to see the messages using third eye. And after that, I didn't really need help. Well, from my team, but not from them, asking them. So Tuesday, March 29th, I was pretty much on the, I was back by then. But I said status update at 1:06 p.m. on Tuesday, March 29th. Thank you. I received binary, a lot of binary. I mean, a ton of binary. And see, I have to scribe every 1 and 0 as it comes in. It translated into a message. And the message is as follows. A few paths of full consciousness are picked out of the way before the troops are picked up. And they are undermined by the uncertainty of the nature of the replacement. Your facility lays into your larger promotion. So when the troops that they're talking about is like from the earlier message, the star seeds. So a few paths of full consciousness are picked out of the way. And then before the troops, so the star seeds that are on this planet, whether you believe it or not, there are star seeds, there are real people on this place, on this world place, on these sacred lands and sacred waters that are here to assist. Some of them are infighting. There's a lot of infighting going on. Some of them are grouped together. Some of them are kind of solo. Some of them don't really know. Some of them do know what their purpose is or what they're doing. It's a mixed bag, and you can see it all over social media. But they're saying a few passive full consciousnesses are picked out, and then of the way before the troops are picked up, they are undermined. So they're being undermined by the uncertainty of the nature of the replacement. The replacement. So I'm not sure. Your facility lays into your larger promotion. So supposedly I'm getting a promotion. I don't know what we're talking about. Or is it like my team told me, maybe when you're third eye, you're totally up on that awareness level. That is the promotion in itself, that larger promotion, because we all have gifts. Some of us recognize more than others. I have a lot of weird, unique gifts. And my visions have been popping off lately as well. So let's get back on track. Questions. I said, please send an image of what you speak of. Please send race code. Please send message in Latin. Are you from Andromeda? I need confirmation. Are you Anunnaki? Respond. Help me. I have the binary translated into raw language and then into partial Latin. Is there a key to help me fine-tune into an understandable language? Message understood. So at 9:24 p.m., this is when we totally cracked it. Totally, no question, without a doubt. Message understood. I don't need help translating. Thank you. Who are you exactly by name or race? March 30th, Wednesday. I said, am I to lead the star seeds? Can you tell me about Argentina? Which races interact in the southern hemisphere of this world? And this is what I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share with you how this was layered in. This is not done, but this is the way it looks when it came in. But it's not complete. Like all where you do see what looks like a letter or something, there's a lot more. It kind of looks to the left of what the whole thing, it's like, it's totally everywhere. And I knew it was going to take me like 2 days to scribe that, because I need it accurate. Every dot, every dash, in case something happens to me, for the record, it's there. So translated, believe it or not, I really thought there was no way we're going to be able to decrypt this or translate. And things must be really going on for this much protection of information, data, to be worrying about, because we get terrestrial agents who will break lines, who have made themselves known, white hats and black hats. So the message is as follows. In the context of that situation, we must transmit the old codes or the operation will be undermined. You understand that has been. So in the first manuscript, I probably have about 20 or 30 different things that can't be translated, whether it's symbology, very unique contact, just as unique as this. But now with this key of what the team has come up with, we might be able to crack some of those older messages. So we're going to go take a look, because obviously there are old codes, like they're mentioning, that are still under lock and key, because we just don't know what, all the way back from 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. So we're going through that as we speak. I said, why? See, I was frustrated at this point, so forgive me. But I said, why? Why did you make this difficult? Why did you change the message format? Because it's so intricate and layered and much. I really didn't think we were going to be able to do it. I said, are you trying to make me fail? Why is the message so encrypted? Whom is undermining the situation? Codes from which year? What must I do next? Decrypt old codes and contact messages? Please. And then at 10:01 p.m., I said, please update me on the sun and its flares heading to Earth. I await your response. And I asked, is the sun naturally sending these out, or is the sun being manipulated to send out these CME flares and X flares and all this stuff? It's just ironic they were just talking about over the weekend, though, earlier, they were talking about the DNA change based upon celestial bodies in space. And the sun is a celestial body in space. And they're saying right here, because time is not real, it is perception based on cycles of celestial bodies in space, creating gravitational pulse in waves that change the DNA structure of humans in the perception of God. I find that ironic that we are getting pelted, or we're getting also missed with unprecedented amounts of activity off the sun. I think, what was it? Yesterday was a 72-hour period of record-breaking amount of activity. Does it relate? It's pretty coincidental that there were messages coming in prior that I didn't even know that this was happening until I was alerted by contact and by some of you guys that were letting me. And then I did some research, and just today there were still, I think today's the last day of still incoming to the planet. So that catches us up to yesterday from contact. Are we going to get more contact? Yeah, I mean, the way it's trending now, we're starting to pick back up again. We're in that spring, going to the spring equinox, all that kind of jazz, and going into these new windows and seasons where we're either existing contact from prior years, or it always winds up being a peppering of new stuff. pops up as well. So the layered contact itself, I don't want to go too much into it. I kind of briefly touched on it. When this line is either compromised or where I can get to a point where I can safely say it's not going to jeopardize anything because I'm doing this in real timing as it's happening. You're knowing. I'll go deeper into it. We talked about that mechanical sphere, and I'll show that when I do finally receive it. We talked about the CMEs, the ledger numbers, the new language. Pretty much that's what I have currently. So just wanted to say hey to you guys. And then we'll jump into, and I'm going to answer a couple things on here. I follow Donut. Debbie, isn't he awesome? Donut is awesome. When it comes to terrestrial and it comes to the ones who basically throw weight around on this planet and control things, he's right in the mix of, it's all numerology and astrology and what these guys, it's not about what you believe, it's about what these billionaires and leaders around the world believe and worship and do. And he's all over that. He's doing an amazing job. So it's kind of refreshing because I don't have to talk about that kind of stuff because he kind of does it for me, in a sense, not for me, but for everyone, where I can stick right to the contact itself. So normally I don't promote and put stuff on my page that isn't my contact, but his stuff's like right on the money. I mean, you need to know that terrestrial stuff. If you don't have that base knowledge, then it's just harder for yourself. They do recognize Earth days, VJ says. Possibly. I never really sat down and researched or looked at it and crunched any numbers or tried to figure anything out. They have mentioned my birthday. They have mentioned when I arrived and my the times and dates and stuff like that, but never really like happy birthday. They do. It's not like that. Let's see. Wouldn't it be a promotion when you take command of the Soltraxi? Yeah, that I have to be humble about that. I mean, the flagship is mentioned in the Soltraxi, and I know there's the Soltraxi Soar, the sister flagship. There's multiple fleets. I guess that's considered a promotion. They say I'm learning. And all will be understood in the future, in the near future. But time is running out. Things are going quicker. This timeline, where this end thing that's coming, it's quicker. So the amount of, that's why that one message was like, you're not going to get all your tasks done that we've assigned you to get done in the time that's left. Even though there's no time, it's perception, like they said, but we do measure it in for us here terrestrially. So I guess, yeah, in a sense, that would be considered a promotion. But until we cross that road, we'll cross that road when we do. Other than that, you guys have anything else? Because I'm going to say thank you for watching. This is the Lyron Connection. Guys, and while I got your ear for a second, now's the time to really to bury the hatchet, in a sense, where we need to be love and support verbally, emotionally, people, anyone you can, because these times are just going to get hairier. It's just going to get to the point where a lot of people who have no concept of the things that go on in the world, they're going to be so far behind that it's going to be even hard to help them to understand. And that's why it's imperative to speak the truth and And it's not that surprising. I mean, when you really start going down what they call the rabbit hole, or you start really looking at the information that is in these old alphabet agency like Operation Stargate and all the in remote viewing, and you start going down and you keep going and you find it's really not that shocking. I mean, you're going to have think tanks. You're going to have people work on things. You're going to have discoveries. You're going to have, and then you have public consumption. So just remember what you know of right now. They're way ahead, technology wise, and that's the whole crapshoot in it, isn't it? It's just technology, and then they're mixing it in with where they're trying to get you accustomed to the idea where you don't need real physical cash. There's all these shortages that are like, premeditatively done on purpose to get you accustomed to a digital age of man, to get you to a digital age of being normalized with no money, where everything is on this cloud, to where you need this, we have the answer, just do this. And it's really turning into transhumanism, and it really has to do with quantum computers and all that jazz. So anyone who's selling, hey, this is good for you, you need a chip and you need this and that, well, what happens 9 times out of 10 when man is playing around with stuff? It gets compromised, right? They start trying to play God, and they start changing the GMO. They're trying to change the code. Oh, well, this will protect from, you'll have a larger yield. You'll have less insect or on your crops, or you'll have less damage from this. Well, when you put or add, it takes away from something else, and then you have these mysterious issues and health, and they go, oh, we're so sorry. If you've taken this, we'll gladly pay you out a substantial little something to keep you quiet because, oops, we're sorry. So, playing with the weather, creating weather, you name it. It's been done or it's being done. That's the truth. My heart goes out to everyone. Yeah, I mean, all you really have to do until this, because all these computers, all this stuff's going to go down at one point in the near future. It's all going to go dark. Unless you have it all printed out or you have a good book, you're just not going to have that data. You'll recall it maybe, but you're not going to have it. And to let you know, I did receive, or Rodriguez's new book, the series. I know I'm plugging. I don't know him personally. I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna see what it says. It talks about insectoids in the series, and it CERES. And they say he says he was the 20 and back program, like good and all these. Hey, I'll read everybody until I find out who's compromised, who's not, what's going on. I have to know the works. So from right now, I hear good things, so I'm gonna go read it, and then I'll let you know what I see about that. It's real hard to read now, especially with the complexity of contact and the way with things going on. I'm trying to get not so much testimony from other contactees as I am. Well, it's good to cross-reference, because then certain insectoids or something pops up, I'll say, oh wow, that's in my contact from 2016. Great, now I know for real this one is it. It's kind of like an Alex makes me feel better kind of thing. Like, all right, another real starseed, or another real person who's had experiences, or mine's just a little unique. So with that being said, I know there's a lot of craziness in the world, and don't be distracted. That was the last thing I wanted to bring up. Remember, whatever is happening, like this latest thing, what is it? I have to say it, Will Smith and all this. They're going to milk this. They're going to milk it for a good week and a half, 2 weeks. This is all they're going to talk about. Well, this is what this one thinks, and this is what this one. Question is, what is happening that they're not talking about? That they're using that to flood every news story as top page. What's that back page? What's it talking about? What's going on that they don't want this hand to look at? And these are everyday tactics. This is they've been doing it so long, it's so obvious to the point where I look in feeds, whether it's Reddit, whether it's whoever, you see the laugh emoji, because you know that people, because there's a difference between being awakened and being woke. So when you see people laughing at certain things that are drummed to and there are still people out there with 7 different masks driving in there. Like, it's conditioning. That's what they do. It's conditioning. And they're conditioning you to absorb and feed all this data, and all this stuff is going on. And then they go, oh, we didn't want to, just like the side effects were it was trying to be covered up for 80 years. Your grandchildren, kids, children would, by the time they would be declassified. But no, that the judge ordered, and now you see all the pages and pages and pages that would have been redacted. So that was a huge win, victory going on in the department. Not everyone's a bad guy. There is a dark, deep state that kind of runs these different countries and the planet. But there are light workers and white hats and people in the know that are fighting and recognize the darkness and the evil that is happening. So with that being said, thanks guys. It's been episode 43 we're at now. Yep. The Lyron Connection. I'll see you on the after show chat, and I'll let you know when I get it. You'll know it. So love you guys. Stay safe, and God bless everyone. Good night.